How about this action right here on the screen, as you can see up on my screen up here?
Well, that's a fake military picture.
Now, how many, like just being a real military guy, how many things can you pick apart just on this picture alone?
Okay, well, let's start with the fake pistol in her hand.
No, hold on. Let's start from boots up. Let's start from here and just move on up.
All right, so starting with the boots, those aren't military-issued boots that she's got. The dog, I don't know if that's a real dog or a fake dog.
It looks stuffed, doesn't it?
It looks like a stuffed dog, or maybe it's the dog, or maybe it's the service dog that she now is saying is not her dog because it bit a child and she's being sued for it.
Hold on now.
Maybe it's that dog.
So she says, like, is she one of those, I need a service dog because of PTSD, and then she got one, now it bit somebody, now all of a sudden it's her cousin's dog?
Yeah, now all of a sudden she's blaming it on her husband, actually, and she's saying it's her husband's dog who bit the child. It's not her. And so, I mean, she's throwing her husband under the bus and saying it's not her dog, but it's actually not a service dog, so they lied about it to the police. So I don't know if it's that dog or not. But then you got the rifle. That's not a military-issued rifle.
Oh, you forgot the gun. We're moving up.
Okay.
Handgun.
Camo.
Moving up. So the camo.
Let's start the camo.
That's Carhartt.
That's Carhartt going hog hunting camo, isn't it?
Yeah, so the camo, I'm not exactly sure where she got that from. She probably went to an Army surplus store.
Maybe Bass Pro Shops?
Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's,
right.
Sports Authority. Who the hell knows?
That's not what you guys wear in abroad.
That is not what we wear. I don't know where the hell she got that from.
Let's go with the pistol.
So now you got a pistol. Now the military service issued pistol is the 9mm Beretta, and that is not that. I don't know what that thing is. It looks like a different form of a pistol.
Now
but
Blitz, one of my guys here, is very much an ammunition. Blitz, what do you think that gun may be? You're an expert.
It looks like it might be like a compact SIG or something.
I agree with him. I think it's a compact
SIG. Okay, yeah. Matt, let's go up to the gloves.
320
let's go up to the driving gloves.
Yeah, the gloves. Those look like landscaping drugs.
She's pulling weeds on the weekend?
She's pulling weeds on the weekends, doing yard work.
All right.
You know, something like that.
Now up to the rifle.
It's a nice rifle.
Yeah, the rifle, that looks like an M4.
I mean, nice.
It'd be 308, though.
It's a 308.
Is it a 308?
308, yeah.
Like an AR-10.
Yeah, but that's not military issued. I don't know where she got that from. I don't know if you just recently saw her commercial that came out on TV, but the last scene.
I'd like to see it.
The last scene in her commercial is her and her husband walking in the woods, and her husband's got like this 7-foot-long sniper rifle, and she's got some machine gun that she's holding. But there's a price tag on one of the rifles.
Oh, really?
In the commercial, you can see it.
She probably went to the rifle shop and said, "Hey, we're cutting a commercial. Can we bring it back?" They returned it. You know they did.
Oh yeah, they absolutely bought it. They must have used it for the commercial and then returned it.
So Matt, as we're talking about Ana Luna Polina, how does something like this happen? Like, and obviously, in full disclosure, I'm a Kevin Hazlett fan. Kevin's been with me for a long time. I understand how Kevin could be considered a political candidate. He's about what a political candidate should be. You're a former prosecutor. You're familiar with the law. You don't have a lot of skeletons in your closet. I don't know if you're familiar, but his two sons are military. Highly, I mean, they're pretty big swinging D's. Doesn't one go to the Naval Academy
and West Point?
Yep.
And West. Now, Matt, within the world, I know you're a Marine, but is that pretty prestigious?
That's a big deal. The three best schools in the entire country: Air Force Academy, West Point, Annapolis. Period. End of story.
Is that where the studs come from?
That's where all the studs come from. Those are the best schools. They produce some of the best human beings, some of the best patriots and Americans in this country.
And so, obviously, Kevin has a couple of those, which is not doesn't represent his service, but nonetheless, he's familiar with military service. And then you get this, you get this woman who strategically carpetbags and finds out where she potentially could win, so she can be a 2-term congressman to get a pension. Because, quite frankly, in the little bit of research I've done, I can't find out what her real job is. Do you have any insight into that, Matt?
No, I don't think anybody knows. I mean, all we know is that she was a dancer at the Red Rose Gentlemen's Club in Fort Walton Beach.
And wasn't supposed to be there because that's a no-go if you're a person that,
that you were in the Air Force, yeah. So the Air Force, the military has like these no-go list places that they don't want military people going to because they either get in trouble, get in too many fights.
Right.
The Red Rose Gentlemen's Club was one of those places, and she decided to get a job there as a dancer while she was still in the Air Force, which is illegal to do because you're not allowed to have a job while also being on active duty.
So how does all of this get swept under the carpet so that, to the point where this woman is a legitimate, it's between her and Kevin. she has been able to strategically get all this momentum and be a viable
the Trump
candidate.
endorsement.
How does this happen?
Well, she was working there as a dancer at the Red Rose Gentlemen's Club in Fort Walton Beach. And you know who represents that district?
Who?
Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz. So how many lap dances did Luna give Matt Gaetz in order to get his endorsement for Congress?
Probably a lot.
Right? So that's where it started. So that Matt Gaetz has the ear of Trump and other people. And he ends up getting Trump behind her. I mean, listen, it's Trump at the end of the day with his endorsement. And let me talk a little about Trump's endorsement. Trump doesn't know 99% of the people he's endorsing.
Obviously.
Okay? So it's pay for play. Somebody's getting paid off. He doesn't know anything about these candidates. Our good friend Roger Stone, he went over to Mar-a-Lago and brought up Anna Paulina Luna to Trump. And he goes, sir, I want to talk to you about Anna Paulina Luna. I can't believe you endorsed her. She's a horrible human being and all these different things.
And that sounds just like the way Roger would say it, too. Right?
And this is Trump's response. He goes, who? He goes, is that the one with the nice ass or is that Laura Loomer? He didn't even know who Luna was at that point, like a week after he endorsed her. So I always say it's harder to get a job at McDonald's than it is to get Trump's endorsement because at least they do a background check at McDonald's.
Right.
I mean, he's doing no background checks. He's not vetting these people. And then he calls everyone else a rhino, which is totally ridiculous. I mean,
and I think the Republican Party is just really quick to put this rhino label on everybody. I think that's overused in itself.
First of all,
rhino deal.
It's totally overused. All these MAGA grifters that are out there, it's so funny because they all endorsed and they all loved Obama. So they all went from huge Obama supporters like Luna was. She loved Obama. Oh, my God. She voted for him twice. And then they go from that to now they're all these Trump MAGA grifters. So, they're all phonies. They're all freaking frauds at the end of the day.
And so I just don't understand, though, how just show you how shallow and stupid we are as Americans, that a pretty face and fatigues and a combat rifle, and so I don't know, a hog hunting rifle and a prop dog along with a Donald Trump endorsement can get you to be a potential congressperson.
It's all it takes, and we've warned people about her. We've tried to get the word out, but people don't listen because Trump kind of wipes away all your sins, right? Well, she's endorsed by Trump, and people need to stop just listening to politicians and their stupid phony endorsements and do the research on their own.
Right.
Think for yourself, people. This is why the country's so screwed up. We keep sending morons like AOC like Rashida Tlaib, and potentially, God willing, hopefully not, Anna Paulina Luna to Congress. I mean, if you want to fix the country, let's start sending some smart people to Congress.
Here's what I'm afraid of, Matt, and that is this bitch is so litigious. And by the way, I'm 4-0 when it comes to being sued for defamation and slander and whatever. But I mean, awesome. Here's the deal: if she becomes a congressperson, let's say by the grace of God she wins, and you're critical of her, that she's going to make life hell on us because congressmen and women have a certain amount of whip, so to speak. That she's going to come after people like me and you and other people, Kevin Hazlett.
If you think she's dangerous now, just wait until she gets to Congress. She's got a hit list of all the people who wronged her.
Rich, she's got a bigger hit list than Nixon did.
Or me.
I wouldn't put it past her to be like Hillary Clinton and start killing people. I really wouldn't.
For real?
Oh, my God. She is insane.
What about her husband now? Now, legitimately, he was a soldier.
He's a great guy. Right? Great guy. I like Andy a lot. Very nice guy. He's probably going to divorce her as soon as this campaign is over.
So,
he's got to.
What I want to emphasize is, like, Matt comes in here as an expert in the military, and he questions Anna's service and things like that. But I have been told that you have publicly said that her husband's a real soldier, and like you feel for him.
I feel for the guy. I mean, the guy's got to be losing his mind, and I can only imagine how she treats him at home. I mean, he's probably some whipping boy. I mean, look what she did with the whole dog biting incident. She's blaming the fact that her dog bit a child where he needs stitches.
When did this happen?
This happened about 3 months ago. And if you go on the Pinellas Clerk of Court website, you can see the case. And she's being sued right now by the family.
Because, Dan, you know what? Doesn't your firm also kind of expert dog bite?
Yeah, we do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's strict liability in Florida. You are wrong no matter what if your dog bites somebody. No matter what you've done in the past, you're wrong.
And Matt, by the way, Dr. Diaco, the guy talking here, is a plastic surgeon as well and a lawyer.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, Dan, you might want to jump in and try to help the people here on this. You know what I'm saying? With maybe reconstruction surgery.
I'm happy to help. Reach out to me, please.
Yeah, that's Dan's hoopty out front if you didn't see it.
Yeah, that Ferrari ain't
Yeah, that car's pretty sick. But the dog bite incident, right? So there were signs all over that said no dogs allowed. Okay.
Was this like a fundraiser deal?
No, it was like an event for people in the community, some kind of fishing event or something like that.
Right.
And she comes there with an Ana Paulina Luna t-shirt, so a campaign t-shirt with the dog, wasn't supposed to be there. And she wasn't supposed to be campaigning at this event, and lied about the fact that she was campaigning, lied about the fact that it was even her dog. And up until this point, she's totally gotten away with it. I don't understand it. I don't
understand with how she gets away with any of
She
that.
needs to be locked up. I mean, she's so dangerous.
She really does.
The dog was off a leash too.
It's called narcissism.
Yeah, totally.
Dan knows.
Absolutely.
Ask Dan. Dan's an expert at it. The guy that drives a Ferrari is an expert.
Dan's going to no one.
Hold on. So says Chad Clark, the father of a 9-year-old boy. Thank you for the heads up on this, Matt.
Absolutely.
That was bitten by the dog, alleges in the lawsuit that the dog lunged at the boy and bit him, and that Luna, attending the event along with her husband and her campaign, are co-owners of the dog. The lawsuit says that the nonprofit Old Salt Fishing Foundation, which held the tournament, was negligent in allowing the dog in a place where the dogs are prohibited. Now, was she there? Is her dog marked a service dog? I don't. Is it marked a service dog?
Well, it can't be, because that would be against the law, because it's not a service dog. They're claiming it is, but. So her defense is that it's not her dog. Well, the courts just don't take your word for it. So apparently,
especially hers.
Yeah. So apparently, they question you under oath about the legitimacy of it being your dog. So they ask you questions like, "Do you ever feed the dog? Do you ever walk the dog? Do you pet the dog?" And if you answer yes to any of these questions, it's your dog. How can you say the dog that lives in your house with your husband is not your dog? I mean, this is the kind of person we want to send to Congress.
Kev, the boy received 11 stitches. Dan,
That's a lot.
He's in bad shape. He's in bad shape, that kid.
The complaint says that the law defines the owner of a dog of any person or organization that keeps, controls, or has custody of the dog. A Pinellas County Sheriff's deputy at the scene reported that witnesses told him that the incident occurred when the boy and others were playing around a football, and he caught the ball and ran near the dog, which was a Belgium
Malinois
called Gunner. Well, yeah. So at the end of the day, she's got a dog bite on her deal too, right?
She's got a dog bite, and she's trying to push this litigation out past the election so it doesn't affect the election.
No.
Most people don't know about this.
No, most people. I didn't know about this at all.
No, I mean, there's so much. There's so much.
Yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into this. This D214.
DD214. So when you leave,
now you have one of these, right?
Of course I do.
And it says Matt. Matt Stud left on good terms. We
it
like
says
him.
Stud. He was the best Marine Corps officer ever. It's got all my
used to make gunny sergeants his bitch.
It's got all my deployments on there. It's got all my awards. It's got the exact dates I went to every single school, every single training.
Where you were abroad.
Where I was abroad. It's got, then it's got your honorable or dishonorable on there, depending on how you were released from the military. And it's got, your entire service record is on there. That tells the story of your service.
This is kind of your paper, so to speak, your resume / walk it. This is like your official paper.
That's your military resume right there.
Right.
Boom. It's got everything on there. And now, people like me can read that and read between the lines and really dissect what everything means. Because I know, like, for instance, here's a good example. She didn't sign her DD-214. Okay. So your last day in the military, you're supposed to go to the admin section. You're supposed to pick up your DD-214 in person and sign it. Okay, I'm here. This is my last day. I'm signing for it, and now I'm leaving. She didn't even show up and sign her DD-214. They probably mailed it to her. So that tells me that something happened on her way out. Now, when you look down,
she may have been asked to leave sooner than she thought. Maybe.
Of course. So when you look down at some of the codes, you may not know what certain those codes.
We don't know any codes.
But if you look them up, how she was separated from the military, she was involuntarily separated. That means that after her first enlistment, they came to her. She tried to reenlist again. They came to her and they said, sorry, we don't want you to reenlist. We don't think you're good enough. You suck. And so what they do is they give you an option. Get the hell out of here, or you can go to the reserves. So they send all the losers to the reserves, essentially. And so that's where she went, was the reserves for about another year or year and a half. Who the hell knows? She's lied so many times.
On Block 18, it said member has not completed first term of service. Anna was involuntarily separated from service over a year early of her 6-year obligation. So she was kind of basically asked to leave, right?
Of course. And what happened was they found out she was working at the Red Rose Gentlemen's Club while still on active duty. Ooh. And she got blown up for that. So that was the reason why they got her out of the military, was because, excuse me, you're working at the no-go list. First of all, you're at the no-go list place, but then you're working there as a dancer? Well, you're still on active duty. They wanted no part of her, so they got rid of her.
Block 25, AFI 36-3208, which means that she was administratively separated, HR code for you're fired, also known as involuntary separation. So basically, Matt, you're saying that they found out about this incident at the Red Rose Inn because the cops were called.
Exactly.
And it either has her, listen, let's give her the benefit of the doubt and let's say that she's a cocktail waitress like she states. I don't believe that she was, but let's say that even that in itself is against the no-go zone, is it not?
It's against the no-go zone. So I was stationed at Camp Pendleton in San Diego, California. The no-go list was Tijuana, Mexico, because Marines kept going down there and getting in fights.
Donkey bars.
Right, and getting locked up in Mexican jail. So we had like an international incident on our hands. We kept having Marines locked up in Tijuana. So the Marine Corps eventually said, okay, no more going to Tijuana for anybody. Well,
you should say thank you for ruining it for us all, buddy.
Yeah, I still haven't been there. But similarly, you've got the Red Rose Gentlemen's Club in Fort Walton Beach, which was on the no-go list, meaning don't go there, anyone who's in the military, and she's freaking working there, right? And the restraining order thing, she had a restraining order against her ex-husband, Andy, at the time, his girlfriend, who was dating some girl.
Yeah,
she didn't like it.
This is really convoluted in the fact that, okay, so it was her ex-husband, Andy, who is now currently her husband, and he was dating a girl at the Red Rose Inn, and this girl showed up, I guess, at the Red Rose Inn and pissed off Anna, and that's where all of this started, I think.
Wait, so they were married, they got divorced, and they got remarried?
Correct. They were divorced for 2 years.
Right.
Okay, so she starts working at the Red Rose Gentlemen's Club. She's got a restraining order against Andy's girlfriend. Andy's girlfriend,
She really likes to put restraining orders on people, doesn't she?
Well, she has at least 6 in her past that we know about against people. She paid a girl to come after me and file a restraining order. Do you know that?
What? For being a stud?
For being a stud. She's paying people to go after her political opponents. I mean, she's out of control. I mean,
that's so scummy.
This could be her uncle. Hold on, let's see here. Hi, who's this?
Yeah, this is Edward Meyerhofer.
Yeah, Ed, this is Bubba. You're live on the air. How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm great. Oh, I'm live already. Wow.
Yeah, we're ready to go. and I got Matt in here, former Marine, and we're kind of going through Anna's
resume.
What's that called, Matt?
DD-214.
We're going through a DD-214 right now with a fine-tooth comb. We knew you were calling, so welcome to the show, my friend.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
And are you afraid? I think I saw your daughter on the Anna Lunatic thing, and are you afraid? I'm afraid as a radio personality that she's going to come after me. Now, I've been sued 4 times for slander and defamation and won them all. But I mean, do you think that your appearance on my show and Matt's appearance and we're just speaking our opinions and well, bottom line, the information that you think she's going to sue us?
I'm hoping not, but her track record shows otherwise. But I don't worry about it because she's already tried to silence me once, and she failed because she just came into court with a bunch of lies and could not substantiate anything. And basically, the judge said that if I wanted to, I could talk to the press. And just, so that was made clear that I was allowed to make my opinions as I wanted to. And not just opinions, but facts, too, that I was putting out there about who she actually is, because Anna Paulina Luna is a fictional character. You will. I challenge anybody out there to find out anything about that particular person prior to 2 years ago.
Now, what is she doing? What has she been doing for a job?
As far as recently,
yeah,
just running for Congress, as far as I know.
But like prior to that, because we can't find out.
She worked at Turning Point USA for 10 months and got fired from there, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I know that she had the job at Turning Point for a while, but prior to that, other than her military service and working at a strip club, from what I understand now too, there was basically that was it. It was just her military experience, and that was only some menial job. I mean, I don't want to demean anybody who works for the service, who serves actually, but when you say you're doing something that you're not really doing, and you're making yourself out to be somebody who's like been in combat or whatnot, claiming, making pictures of yourself in military fatigues, carrying guns and everything, and then you go to court and say in court that you've actually only had 1 day of actual training on weapons. Kind of makes you sound like a little bit of a fraud.
This is Anna Luna Polina's Mayhofer, or whatever the hell's real uncle. Now, how are you related to Anna? Is it your dad? Is her dad, or your brother?
Okay,
is your dad?
I am her uncle on her father's side.
Okay,
and I'm also her godfather.
Oh, so you got all
you're
kinds
the godfather.
of. Yeah, you're the godfather.
I am the godfather.
When she was born, her family felt as if and if I know Godfather, the way it's supposed to go is that you find the closest person in your family or friends that if something would happen to you, you would trust them to raise your child. Am I not right?
It's not that. She was actually christened in the Catholic Church, and I stood in as the godfather at the christening.
Yeah, so you're not some third removed, never. You're very close here.
Yeah, it's not just a title that was given to me. It's actually by the church, the Catholic Church. I am her godfather.
Now, when did this go awry? When did you start having fundamental issues with her? Just when she started all these lies in order to be, a congresswoman, or has she always been, a little goofy, if you would?
Well, as a child, she seemed fairly normal. We kind of helped raise her as in her early years up into her tweens. She used to hang out with my daughter a lot. We used to keep her over at her house and basically kind of like babysit her and have her there, or we'd go pick her up at my grandfather's house where she lived a lot with, because my brother lived with my father. He never actually had a place of his own as an adult. He basically had a room in the garage living there, and she actually had her own bedroom in my father's house. And I believe she was actually even going to school there, in elementary school and possibly even middle school in Orange County, California. And so basically she used to come with us, and I would buy her things because her parents really weren't taking care of her too much. So, they were, giving basics, but my father did a lot of the actual daily care as far as like food and giving her a place to stay. And me and my wife would go over with my daughter since they were a couple of years apart, 2-3 years apart, I believe it is. And we would pick them up and take her to the beach, take her to Disneyland, take her to the parks, and take her shopping. And we'd buy my daughter and her dresses that matched. So basically, a lot of people thought they were sisters.
So when
growing up,
were you were you familiar with the process when she decided, I don't know, however long ago, when she first ran, 2 years ago, how did she pick this particular congressional area? She doesn't even live in District 13. Did she just say, oh, well, there's AOC, and she, she's kind of cute, and she's been able to make a living at being a congressperson? And is that, do you know how this process worked? Because she's not qualified at all.
I believe, right. I believe that she basically went shopping for an area that she could possibly maybe make a run. Because as far as I know, she grew up, she's a Californian. Okay, basically she's a Californian. She grew up in California. She was grew up there for 20 years plus, and moved around once she got into the Air Force. Then she was in Texas, Florida. I believe she was also in Washington. Then went back to Florida. I think it was. I don't know how many years she was actually in Florida, but I don't believe it was more than maybe 3 years at the max. So basically, people who vote for Anna in Florida are Californicating Florida, and I don't think that that's a good decision. You want to vote for somebody who's actually from Florida, grew up around there, knows what the issues are of Florida, because she has no clue. She hasn't been there long enough to know what the issues are.
Well, she doesn't even currently live in the district. She lives, in another county, and I guess going to use some type of rule, whereas if she would win, she has 30 or so many days to move in that district, which I fundamentally have a problem with that, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, they used to call those people carpetbaggers.
Right.
because the Constitution does not require that you actually live in a district. So back in the Civil War, you had a lot of the people from the North coming to the South carrying carpet bags, and campaigning to get elected in those districts, therefore known as a carpetbagger, and that's basically what she is. She's a carpetbagger.
Ana Luna Polina's uncle and godfather on the phone. And if you want to go to a website that pretty much lays all this out quite nicely, including, I think it was your daughter that says, listen, please vote for anybody except my cousin.
She said even vote Democrat.
Even vote Democrat, because you guys
her.
don't have any idea of the monster that this woman is. And, obviously you and your family have firsthand knowledge. Does the general consensus among the family, is it like, what in the hell is going on here? And what if she wins? She's going to be so power hungry and impossible to deal with.
Well, yeah, that's exactly the truth. I mean, she's basically, I don't know, she almost her character seems like a Democrat. I mean, the way she's doing things, she's taking a lot of the stuff that they do out of their rule book and applying it to her campaign. But for some reason, the people are just so oblivious. Nobody's doing their homework to try and find out who she is. They're basing their fact on all this social media, and unfortunately, that social media is so huge nowadays, people believe almost anything that they see.
People believe a pretty face and a fake German Shepherd and a fake gun, and they just go crazy with a little makeup filter. She looks great, but that's the whole problem in itself, is that nobody really knows this person like you and Matt and others, and it's just a big popularity who looks the sexiest deal. And that's what that's with a Trump endorsement that we still can't figure out.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Yeah, Ed's his name, by the way.
Ed, first of all,
Edward. I actually go by Edward.
Sorry, Edward. I'm sorry, Edward.
That's okay.
Godfather.
That's okay.
The Godfather. The Godfather. Edward, go ahead.
The Godfather. There you go.
When did your relationship?
I'm making a deal you can't refuse.
You got it, Edward, the Godfather Mayhofer.
Yeah, I've been a Republican and a conservative for all my life since I've been able to vote. I'm a life member of the NRA since I've been able to shoot guns. So that's 40 plus years. And, if she were real, I would back her up. But not one thing coming out of that woman's mouth, that young lady's mouth, has been anything that I can see as real. It's all lies. She may be about a quarter Hispanic Mexican, to actually
28%. I have her Ancestry.com.
Yeah, I have an earlier one that was done that was actually less than that. It actually came in at under 25%.
So let's call it 26 and a half.
But basically, okay, my mother's from Mexico, my father's from Germany. So she at the most would be a quarter, because I'm half Mexican, which my brother was half Mexican too. But we didn't grow up in a Mexican household. Our household was your typical white privilege, what they call white privilege white American household. I mean, we spoke English in the household, never learned Spanish, never learned German, because my dad didn't speak Spanish, my mom didn't speak German, so they both spoke English. And
right.
My mom was actually a English teacher in Mexico. So she spoke better English than most people here in America, because she learned in the university Oxford English. So her English was really good. So
and there was no slang terms around Mama now, was there?
No, absolutely not. No, that, and we didn't. Like I said, we didn't speak Spanish. There were no quinceañeras. I mean, we didn't even really eat Mexican food. When we ate Mexican food was when we went to Del Taco to have taco on.
Oh, don't say that.
On Friday on taco night on
Have
Friday.
some respect. You're from Southern California.
Now, hold on,
so
Dan.
am I.
Dan might have a couple questions. Dan, you got some for Edward, the Godfather Mayhofer?
Yeah, two questions. The first one was, didn't Trump originally endorse her when she was going against Charlie Crist 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So that made sense.
I heard that there was some sort of endorsement, but I never actually found it or anything about him saying anything like that. So
I think there was a tweet. That was it.
Okay, and the second thing is, what made your relationship with Ana Paulina Luna go south? I mean, why are you so estranged now? Where did she blow it?
It started back when she was in high school, and she was running with a bad crowd from, I believe she was going to Westwood High at the time. And if you know what Westwood High is, that's a fairly affluent neighborhood. Hanging out with kids, driving around in Mercedes-Benz.
By UCLA, right?
Yeah, Westwood.
Exactly, because her mother was actually going to UCLA at the time.
So did mine.
And she had remarried, and I believe that's when they allowed, she has a couple of siblings that are step siblings that are, or not step siblings, half sisters and brothers from another marriage of her mother's. And so she was going to school there, hanging out with these kids, drinking during the, ditching school, drinking, doing, smoking pot as far as I know, maybe other things. And she was posting a lot of this stuff on her Facebook page. I'm sorry, not Facebook, but MySpace, which was nobody really uses now anymore. But it was the thing at the time, and so I had mentioned that to her brother. Her father, who's my brother.
George. Is he alive or is he deceased?
He died didn't he die recently, Edward?
Yeah, he died. Yeah. Oh, well, that's another thing.
All right, we'll get into that later.
She didn't. So anyway,
did she cut the brake lines, Edward?
Did she cut the brake?
Yeah, hold on. I don't know. Who knows?
Sorry.
Matt
Tito asked that question. Sorry.
So he didn't believe me about any of this stuff, and so I basically went on her MySpace site. I mean, I took my laptop computer to him and showed him. I go, look here's your daughter's MySpace site, just so you know what she's doing. And then he confronted her, and she got pissed off at me because of what I did. Because I basically outed her to her father, but I only did it as concern for her.
Right.
I mean, I'm her godfather, I'm her uncle. I didn't want to see her running around drinking and doing drugs and nobody doing anything about it.
When you're posting pics of you smoking crack on MySpace, I think your uncle and the brother of your dad has probably the standing to say, "Hey, George, did you know about this stuff, buddy?" Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's where it started going south, and then these political aspirations that she's had. You and your family have come out and said, "Listen, we're not some haters. We're not some soft pack Willie. We're family. We're family, and we truly know this woman, unlike anybody else." Because the media, for some reason, has given her a pass. And this is what she's really all about. And now you have to worry about potentially being sued by her because she is so litigious. She's one of the most litigious. She tries to shut everybody down like everybody's afraid to get sued. I don't know that she has the money to actually sue everybody she wants to.
Well, that's another thing. I think the FEC, Federal Election Commission, needs to look into her campaign finances because, like, when she sued me, I believe they may have used campaign funds for that whole process. And because it was not political, and she even said it in court that it had nothing to do with politics, that made it a private matter. And if she's using money for that, that's a violation of campaign financing. And I've actually looked at her statements of donations that are coming in on a regular basis, and a lot of it looks very suspect. You have days where people are donating the exact same amounts of money, and I'm talking large amounts, $2,300 and $2,800, and you're seeing like 10 entries of the same amount on the same day. It seems really suspect to me. Most people have like multiple different amounts. Nobody's going to donate the exact same amount the exact same day.
Edward, were you familiar? Yeah. Were you and Anna talking, or during her supposed military service at Eglin?
Well, the whole thing about when I outed her about the drugs and the drinking kind of really put a damper on our relationship. But she did continue a relationship with my daughter. She was speaking with her all the time. And basically, I really didn't, what I do for work, I travel for work a lot. I'm a union electrician, and I travel, multiple states for wherever the jobs are. So I just, continued my life. I mean, I didn't really pay much attention to her until about 2.5 years ago, when I saw some stuff pop up on my feed from Turning Point, where she's making claims about her grandfather being killed by Pancho Villa, and how she was the representative for Turning Point, and she's talking about being a chola or something like that. And I'm like, really? I mean, what gives you the right to say that? You don't even speak Spanish. You were never raised in a Spanish household, So how
I wonder if she's very fluent in Spanish right now. And we should, if somebody gets a hold of her, and be like,
as far as I know, not. And up until 2 years ago, and even if she did learn how to speak Spanish, I don't think she would have anybody who spoke Spanish and would talk to her would know that she just recently learned it. But as far as I know, I don't think she even speaks Spanish still.
I don't think I've never heard her. Has anybody heard her speak any Spanish?
No, she doesn't.
No.
Yeah, I mean that's question number one. Tell me that you're in Spanish. Tell me that you're the congressional GOP candidate in the 13th district right now. Say it. I mean, if she couldn't say it.
I think that guy at Conservative Grounds, the one that was asking her questions, I think he mentioned that, and she
can't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Jacob Ingles.
Yeah.
I think somebody tried to ask her a question in Spanish, and she had no clue what they were saying.
Man, now, Edward, how much of a joke is it going to be if, by the grace of God, she wins and this woman is? I mean,
they'll job her out. I think on the
they're waiting
on the full election in November. They're waiting. What Kevin said is they're waiting to let her get nominated now in the primary and then just destroy her before the main election, the general.
Yeah, I mean, if she makes it through the primary, I would not say it's by the grace of God.
She can't make it. I think there's no way.
Yeah, well, conservatives are Christian people, mostly Christian people, and by the grace of God, I mean, I pray all the time to God that His will be done.
Well, can you pray a little harder tonight, Edward? I mean, please. I mean, for all of us.
Like I said, I'm a very, very Christian man. I'm a very conservative man. I actually am the founder of PrayForTheNation.com, which is a ministry to get people to pray.
Can you send a mass email saying us people down here in District 13 need a lot of praying tonight?
For things, yeah. And here's another thing. When her dad died, my brother. She didn't even have the gall to put things aside and invite me to the funeral so that I could say goodbye and bury my brother.
Hold on.
You had to be invited.
Hold on, Edward. You're saying that your brother, who you've known longer than her, obviously it's her father,
right.
But this is your brother. He designated you as her godfather, and she couldn't even let family beef down to invite you to the funeral?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know what else is left to say. I mean, that is horrible.
I mean, first off, one of the commandments in Scripture says you should not bear false witness against your neighbor. But she actually went into court, got her mother, got her father, got her husband to all lie for her and bear false witness against her own uncle and godfather. And that's why they lost. I mean, basically, when I knew I was going to win that, because that's why the minute I got that injunction, I filed for an evidentiary hearing because I knew I was going to win.
But Edward, what did she sue you? What did she sue you for?
Well, she said I was stalking her. She said she feared her life, that I was. She made all these claims that all these things I did, and then all the stuff that they put in the evidentiary hearing, the statements talking about how I had cut down all the plants after I had bought my father's house from the estate, that I had chopped down all the plants and did all these things, and everything was blatant lies. I mean, talking about how I had in fact, my brother, when he was giving his testimony over the phone in court, the judge and the clerks were laughing because it was so hysterical. He couldn't keep straight on his timeline.
Ed, can I ask a stupid question, buddy? What does it matter if you cut the trees down at the
I was wondering that.
what does it matter, buddy?
No. Yeah, it was stupid stuff like that.
I mean, what does it matter? Like some judge is gonna hem you up on cutting pop all those trees down. Who cares?
That I had that I had gotten rid of my mother's wedding dress. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
I mean, what does that have to do with you taking me to court for slander or defamation or whatever she was trying to hem you up on?
And then one of the things that she used to try and say that I was that she feared for her life was she got her father to say that I had pulled a gun on him while at my father's house in his bedroom, okay, in 2009, 3 years after I had sold the house and 6 years after they had died. So that was like way off and out the
And
back.
again, the reason why nobody has heard of this lawsuit is because it got thrown out. I think I got summary of judgment. Did you not?
Yeah, but basically it was dismissed.
Right.
It was dismissed.
Right.
Is what happened. They dismissed it. I can't remember if it was with prejudice or without prejudice, but it was basically dismissed. And as I said, the judge at the time said, "You know what? Just don't put texts on her social media. You can put anything you want on yours and everything, and you can talk to the media if you want. Just don't try to make direct contact."
Well, what
with
you
her.
didn't realize,
And I
Edward,
said,
is
"Fine."
that she's a public figure by the absolute simplest of definitions. She's a public figure, and you can speak about her freely, and then having the family standing, and I mean you really can say about anything in your opinion. And if the only rule is to stay off her stuff, like you have, I hope you continue on. Hopefully today or tomorrow is the last day we have to deal with this bozo, and after that, I don't know what the future has for her, if she's going to continue just to run and run and run. But I hope, Ed, that Edward, that you continue to let people know your firsthand knowledge of being her uncle, her godfather, the brother of her dad. And I hope that she doesn't, obviously it seems like she hasn't scared you and buffaloed you and intimidated you like she does a lot of people. And I'm very, very thankful that you came on the show today and gave us some insight.
Oh, no problem. And I think she got the idea for running for Congress because I am actually a 6-time congressional candidate. I've run 6 times, 5 times in Orange County, California, and 1 time here in the great state of Utah. And I don't know.
Did you use any of these? I guarantee you didn't use any of these tactics to win.
Oh no, absolutely not. I did not change my name. I did not try to say I did not try to say that I was Hispanic, Mexican. I basically just ran on the platform that I'm a union electrician. I'm not a politician. I'm a hardworking man. And I want to change things for the better, but unfortunately, money wins. And I knew that I would never win in the district that I was running in, but I knew the guy was going to retire. But as soon as he retired, and I went for that 5th term, Darrell Issa came in from Chicago with billions of dollars. And
carpetbag.
How could I? Yeah, exactly. As a carpetbagger, and I couldn't compete against that. In fact, he actually outspent and beat Darrell. David Morrow, I believe was his name. He was a state senator, and he ran against in the same district as I did, and he beat him because he had billions of dollars. And Darrell Issa, he's another guy who made money on some weird, from what I understand, some of his warehouses burned up in Chicago. And he collected some huge insurance sums from them, and that's kind of like how he started making his money.
Edward, before I let you go, my final thing is, Edward, I'd like to maybe cut a little bit of a deal with you, and that is if Ana Luna Polina loses tomorrow, which I'm hoping she does, can we have you on the air maybe Wednesday to congratulate the person that wins?
Oh, absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely. In fact, I hear there's a couple of good people that are running against her, and I would hope that the good people of Florida would actually vote for a Floridian.
Yeah, somebody somebody that lives in the area. Yeah.
Well, exactly. I mean, here in the great state of Utah, I've been here 20 years in Utah, so I like to consider myself a Utahn now.
And how would you feel, Edward? How would you feel if some, hot chick that knows how to put makeup on and use a filter and have stand-in dogs and completely have the same type of, track record that your niece has, rolls up in there, doesn't live there, and is now a viable candidate and you're Congresswoman? Wouldn't you just be beside yourself?
Oh, I'd be livid.
And that's what we're facing right now. We're facing some sham artist in here that learn how to, take, cute pictures and filter and misrepresent herself. And for some reason, I don't know if it's the woke era that we live in, but nobody's really calling her out. And it's disgusting. It really is. It's wrong, quite frankly.
Well, it's you know what? She's done a really good job of, and you could probably find out who's been doing it, but she spent a lot of money, a lot of campaign funds to scrub social media of all her past.
She blocked me on Facebook. She blocked me on Facebook.
Well, no, but it's not just that, but as Anna Paulina Meyerhofer and Anna Paulina Gamburski, her married name, or just Anna Paulina, there's a lot of very provocative photos of her out there that she did while she was in the military, claiming that the military actually allowed her to do it. Now, I don't know any military that would allow her to take pictures like that. And, most time I see stuff like that, it's usually because it's a scandal of some sort.
Oh, we got all kinds of scandals.
She did a lot of, some spread for, let's see if I can remember, Maxim magazine,
right,
and maybe another one. And it was not for the magazine, I believe, but it was for the website Maxim runs, and it was a contest that they were doing.
And I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be creepy or nothing, but man, if we were talking about a girl that's hot and maybe a potential bikini model, I think she's right up there. But I mean,
well, yeah, she I don't.
She's cute. She's a cute girl.
She probably. I mean, now she's too old,
right?
But had she not gone into the military, she could have probably had a career as a model, possibly.
Yeah, probably, but she's crazy as a loon.
But I think, for lack of a better word, I think she's an attention whore, and she just likes people's attention, people focusing on her, And
I think you nailed it. I think you absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, she has no. As far as I know, she doesn't have any discernible talents. She doesn't have any discernible.
Hold on, Edward. Edward, she does have. I want to have to correct you here. She's got great talent. She can lie her. She can lie her ass off. She's a good liar. Let's just be honest.
Well, you know what? It's kind of like the saying about people used to be famous because they were talented. She's talented because she's famous.
I mean,
so she really doesn't have no talent.
Yeah,
and that's the way it is. And unfortunately, like I said, if she doesn't get elected, what is she going to do? I mean,
back to the Red Rose.
Back to the Red Rose.
OnlyFans account starting in 2 days.
OnlyFans.
I mean, my suggestion to anybody, especially her, would be if you really want to get political, you know what? Find a place where you want to live, and then start at the local level.
Yeah, start as a city council lady or something like that.
Exactly.
Maybe dog catcher,
and work your way up. And see how you do, and if people actually like what you're doing, and don't just be a mouthpiece and a pretty face.
Hey, Edward,
which is what she is.
We look forward to calling you on Wednesday. If I could put you on hold and get your number. Maybe call you on Wednesday with if the results happen the way we hope they happen. For you to maybe, throw your endorsement to the GOP candidate that's not your niece.
Absolutely.
All right, Edward. Hey, Edward, the Godfather Mayhofer, thank you so much, my friend. I look forward to talking to you again. Let me put you on hold real fast so I can get your information, okay, bud?
Okay, well, thank you very much. Hey, God bless everybody out there in Florida.
And listen, don't forget, I know you're part of a big prayer group. We need some prayers down here, buddy, ASAP.
Absolutely.
All right, hold on a second. Let me do some words. Matt, can you stick around for a little bit longer?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So, Matt, Tito is in the studio. Now, Matt, I'd love to have you on every once in a while.
Absolutely. This is awesome.
Now, what are you currently doing for a living?
Yeah, so I've currently got a small business, which I started on my own, and it's going pretty successful. After I got out of the military, I got my MBA at the University of Miami.
Were you killing it down there on the co-eds? Just asking for a friend.
I guess I was doing okay.
Yeah,
not too bad. It's a different world down there.
Rolling up in Miami on your MBA deal, being former Marine, not some fake Anna Paulina deal. It's got to be pretty good. Works pretty good with the ladies, doesn't it?
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad. I was fresh out of the military. So
how old are you, Matt?
I'm 35.
Okay, young, 35.
Yeah, I got out.
Oh, it's young for him, but I'm old.
No, Anna, both are young.
Oh, okay.
Bitch, Jesus, God, over there like a little moray eel with your mouth wide open right now.
But to answer your question, yes.
Yeah, he's a man, you're a
Yeah,
woman.
he's getting a little older.
That's true. That's true.
He's a man. He ages differently. You
Right,
divide by
right.
2. He's got the swagger of a 22-year-old.
Right.
You're approaching 40.
Right, I'm rotting away.
So
No,
sorry.
but man, Miami's fun. It's fun. It's a different world down there. I don't know if you've been down there lately, but the skyline's starting to look like Manhattan. I mean, it's
Really?
getting so crowded down there. I mean,
Now,
there's condos and buildings.
What
going
was
up
your
everywhere.
last year of service as a Marine?
2017, I got out.
Oh, just fairly recent.
Yeah, in July 2017, I got out. My last duty, actually, I was at the recruit depot in San Diego, where we make Marines, where boot camp is. So I was the company commander over there, in charge of recruit training. So actually in charge of the drill instructors.
Like, were you the guy that was going running 50 miles a day, like that kind of deal, or you were in charge of those guys?
Yes, I was
that
in
did that?
charge of those guys. I was in charge of the drill instructors who did.
So would
their
you
thing.
be like, "Hey, Jim, you're a little bit soft on the boys today,
I would, but boot camp's gotten so watered down now.
I was just getting ready to say, has boot camp
the
gotten
Mothers
woke?
of America have gotten involved, and everything's so politicized. And I mean, if you can believe it now, you can't even curse in front of recruits.
You can't say it's not like Full Metal Jacket. Remember that?
Oh, I mean, back in the day, in the 90s, you used to be able to hit recruits and
Let
throw
me
them down.
find me an excerpt.
They'll pull out their stress cards.
and beat them.
Hold on, do they got stress cards?
Kinda.
I mean, do they have cards if you're stressing a guy? Let's say you're all up in a guy, right? Like Matt, you're like the way the Full Metal Jacket guy with Pyle, like, you piece of absolute dog turd, you pussy, the best thing on your mom, like all that. You can't do any of that.
You're not really supposed to, and you also used to be able to haze the recruits. So you'd be like, do push-ups for 20 minutes straight, right? Now there's actually a time limit on hazing. It's 2 minutes and 45 seconds or something.
What?
So you can be like, recruit, start doing jumping jacks, and you literally got to start the stopwatch, and at 2 minutes and 45 seconds you got to end it. So there's a time limit now on hazing recruits. I mean, it's out of control. I mean, we need to get back to being
This
tough.
right here. We need hold on. We need this right here.
I don't know how many bad
We need
words
this.
are.
It probably has all kinds of bad words. I'll have to dump them out. We need to get back to this, Matt. Hold on.
Toe jam. Pop that blister.
Now, Matt is in the
Awesome movie, by the way.
70s, early 80s when this was. Is this how it was for real? Is this a good depiction of how it was?
Absolutely. I mean, that's how it was. It was tough. When you went there, you feared your drill instructors. You did exactly what they said, or you got beat, or you got hazed.
They would beat your ass, wouldn't they?
They would beat you. They'd get in your face. They'd spit in your face. And so it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that now. It's completely changed. Now, Marine Corps boot camp training is still the best of the best, right? Like I've heard now at Army boot camp and Air Force boot camp, you can have cell phones and
spas,
you
get a
get
facial.
days off, you get a massage, after a hike.
The gunny sees something. Now, is this a gunny? Is this a gunny?
That's a gunnery sergeant.
That's like my friend.
I forgot the actor's name, but
Arlie Ermy.
he was actually a gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, Arlie
You know
Ermy.
Yeah, and I think he just recently died.
He
Yeah,
did
a year or
recently
two ago,
die.
yeah.
But this guy was this wasn't an actor. This was a real gunny.
Yes, he was a real gunny in the Marine Corps, which was
girl that would absolutely make him go bananas. An unlocked footlocker, right?
well, that's all it takes.
That's all it takes to
That's
just.
all it takes.
So
So try and find motivation at the bottom of the locker, and they throw your stuff all over the
now,
place.
will he
That's what
absolutely floor this here in a minute, Matt? Is he going to
you'll
just
see.
send it coast to coast here?
Oh, absolutely.
Just see if there's anything missing.
That's about as accurate as it gets. That's what they do. They throw your crap everywhere.
Oh, he finds something.
Hold on. Now, if you're the recruit right there, Matt, are you like, oh my God, my life
you're
is
crap
ruined?
in your pants.
Found the donut.
So what people don't understand, drill instructors are some of the funniest people on earth. The hardest thing here right now in that scene is for the other recruits to not burst out
crack
laughing.
up.
Because I've been in that situation where someone else is getting railed
Now,
on by the drill instructor.
if you
It's funny.
cracked up, you're going to get your ass whipped.
Oh,
right?
you're done. You're done.
Now-
I mean, you're trying so hard not to laugh.
Now, Matt,
in this scenario.
is this what you look at as far as how established? This is the
Absolutely. So I can read that and I can tell you exactly what you've done in the military. I can tell you where you've been. Those are the shooting badges down below. That tells you how.
Does he got a pretty good lineage there? Is he pretty much a stud?
They call it a stack, right? So that's a pretty big stack. That means you've done a lot. That
Was
means,
your stack bigger than that?
my stack was not bigger than that, but I was not in the military as long as a gunny would be.
Right.
A gunny would be in the military 15, 20 years. I was in for 8 years.
We were talking about you being an officer, and you would be in charge of these guys, these gunnies.
Yep.
You know, these E8s and E9s, and you were, I think, an 03, 04, something
03,
like that.
correct.
And so, but when you were dealing with a guy who you outranked, but he was a long-time enlisted guy, you know, E8, E9, started out as an E1, did you walk, and I wouldn't say walk lightly, but did you have respect for the old-timers, even though you outranked them, because they were an old-timer?
Listen, as a young 23-year-old, I walked in on day one, and I was given a platoon, right? So I was in charge of 45 Marines on day one. And my senior enlisted advisor would be a gunny, someone who's in for 20 years. So the way I handled that relationship was, you know, I never treated him like one of the younger Marines. I treated him with respect. It was kind of a working relationship.
Right.
And I wanted the gunny to know, you know, we're going to run this platoon together. You know, I'm the platoon commander, but, you know,
but you're my guy.
You're my guy. I need your help. I'm new to this whole thing. You've got combat experience. You know, show me the way. So I leaned on my gunny, my senior enlisted
What's the
advisor
highest rank in E?
E9, so Sergeant Major.
Yeah.
Master Gunner Sergeant.
And you had E9s report to you, right?
E9 typically would only report to the commanding officer of the unit.
But you worked with E8s.
I worked with E8s. I worked with the E9s very closely,
right.
But they never reported to me. They
but
typically
the E8s, man, you had to be here. You got this young, fresh-faced 23-year-old who's, you know, you got to probably, you know, kind of give him a little bit of respect, don't you?
You got to give him respect.
Plus, they probably could whip your ass, too, couldn't they?
Some of them are pretty tough. I mean, when you've been in that long, you're freaking tough.
You're grizzled, are you not?
You've got
grizzled.
When you come in as a young officer, you got to earn the respect of everybody.
Right.
So you got to come in with a little bit of a swagger.
But if you're a guy that starts out as an E1 and you're now an E8, you got some miles on you, don't you, bud?
I mean, you've probably got 5, 6, 7 deployments in you.
Yeah.
You've been moving around your entire adult life from city to city, from base to base, overseas deployments everywhere. I mean, you've probably been divorced and remarried 4 times.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had a tough life.
Had a woman in every country.
A woman
in every country. You probably
Yes.
got some Filipino girls, all kinds of things.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've had Marines, you know, on some of these floats that we do. You stop in other countries. And, you know, sometimes the Marines
2 or 3
will get
pregnant?
off the shit. Well, they just won't come back. I mean, they'll fall in love with some Filipino
They
girl.
love you a long time, and then they don't come back?
Well, they don't come back. They go UA. They fall in love with some girl, and, you know, the ship leaves.
And
See
now
you
what
later.
happened? What's the protocol as far as if you're UA? Do you guys go try to find them, or you just write them off?
No, I mean, we don't have time. You know, we're not going to hold up the entire.
Are they
deployment
wanted
and
now back in the States?
Yeah, I mean, you can't come back. I mean, you come back, you'll get charged,
All right.
and you'll get.
You couldn't do basic training like this nowadays, could you, Matt? Like this would be not acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's still pretty tough. Marine Corps boot camp.
Yeah,
It's okay.
He makes
having flashbacks, but I think he ends up committing suicide in this movie.
He does.
Right?
Yeah.
So, we actually have.
Does that happen?
Well,
like, for real?
I mean, Marines come to boot camp, and I don't know what they think they're getting into. If they think they're going to Club Med or like a vacation, but they get there and they decide, oh, damn, this sucks. And they try and get out of recruit training. And I've seen recruits try and shoot themselves in the foot on the firing line, right, to get out of training. We've had Marines jump off the second-story balcony of the barracks to try and like break a limb or something to get out of training. They do all different types of stuff, and sometimes they do commit suicide.
Do you let them out? Not on the suicide deal, but do you let them out when they do the other stuff, or do you
if you can rehab them and send them back in, you do. I mean, it's tough to get. I mean, short of committing suicide, it is pretty tough to get out of training. I mean,
what
once
was the
you're there, you're there.
toughest thing you ever had to do? Whether it was in basic training, whether it was a mission, what was the sketchiest thing you ever had to do where you thought, I might die?
Well, I think that the toughest thing in training for me, physically wasn't really a problem with any of the events. I think it was mentally more than anything.
No, but how about mission-wise?
Yeah, mission-wise, I mean, there was a couple missions that we went on where, we're looking for, a particular Taliban member, in the city. It's at night. You don't know where the enemy threat is coming from because the enemy could be anybody over there in the Middle East. It could be...
They're not uniformed, are they?
No, there's no uniform. Anybody can have an AK-47, underneath their dress. Anybody can have a suicide vest on. And so there are situations where, we're walking through a city. It's completely pitch black. We got the night vision goggles on. And, you don't know. You're surrounded by civilians. You don't know who's got an AK-47, who's got the suicide vest on. And you're constantly just on edge. And again, with the rules of engagement, it's not like I could start mowing down people because I think that they're a bad guy. right? So you got to wait until you're shot at or you're ambushed or something like that. So it was a constant stressor while you're over there.
And Blitz was my roommate at one time, but I had a roommate, and he was a Marine Corps sniper. And he used to tell me that they would, Blitz, do you remember the stories when they would dig in on the side of the road? Do you remember that when Jim Tapp would tell those stories?
Yeah.
He would, Matt, he was a Marine Corps sniper, and they would have like this helicopter, and they would drop off him and another guy, and like in the middle of the night, and they would have to dig this hole on the side of the road. And it would be like they'd have these orders. Okay, tomorrow at noon, there's going to be there's going to be a caravan of 3. You need to take out the passenger in the second vehicle.
Yeah, just one guy, the shooter and spotter, and that was it.
And you'd have a shooting spotter, and you'd be dug in the side of the road. And like throughout the night, army trucks and big tanks and stuff would be going back and forth, and you'd have to hide and hope that they didn't go off the track and run over you and die. And then once you had your target, you'd have to pop up, kill the guy, snipe him, then start running the opposite direction, and this helicopter would come static line you out of there. Is that? I mean, did he tell the story true?
Well, it's crazy. I mean, sometimes these snipers, they've got to get into their position 3, 4, 5 days.
That's what he said. They'd be dug in for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
sometimes
you're just dug in. You can't move. I mean, I can't imagine going to the bathroom.
And he said like a lot of times they'd be dug in, and these erratic tanks would be driving around up and down, and if they ran over you, they would kill you.
No, you're done. And
but you still had a day away from your target.
And snipers.
Then you'd snipe them, and then the people that you just sniped would try to find out where it was coming from and chase you, and you'd have to start running and hope that the helicopter static lined you out of there, and they were shooting at you while they static lined you out of there.
Yeah, I mean, it's no joke. I mean, some of these, special operators, extremely talented. You got to be extremely disciplined, and you really got to be good at your craft and what you do. And
I know one time we had a bunch of ladies from Denmark at my house. They were nannies, and me and Blitz were out in the back, and there was this bird
with a pellet gun.
It was with that pellet gun. We had a pellet gun, and we were shooting cans with our pellet gun, right? Well, there's this bird, and I'm like, Jim, you think you could take that bird out? And he's like, please, I could take that bird out, no problem. And the girl's like, you can't take that bird out. So of course he took the bird out, and it ruined the party. They remember, Blitz? They were so mad at us the rest of the deal. You don't challenge a Marine sniper on things, even with a pellet gun, because they're deadly.
No, I mean even basic Marine Corps marksmanship. When you do your training, you're training from the 500-yard line. And
I think he was 1,000-yard guy.
Well, yeah. So what I'm saying is with the military service M16 rifle or the M4 rifle, you're trained. I can hit your head from 500 yards away, and that's just your basic.
That's
marksman.
A standard Marine, Willie.
That's a standard Marine. Every Marine can do that, right? So now the snipers are on a whole nother level. I mean, they're even pushed back to the 1,000-meter marker. And
they can get your head from 1,000.
From 1,000, no question. I mean. No question about it.
Yeah, we always stayed friendly with him. We never knew when he was going to go crazy with the pellet gun.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, let me do some words. I'm going to come back with these latest 3 Ana Luna Polina. Lummy, I think this is her newest commercial.
That's the newest one that
Ana Polina Luna is a warrior. You know what would be refreshing, Matt, is if you could get Ana Luna Polina to get on the air and talk like you, because she'd actually, been abroad and been part of, something like you talk about. Well, I don't know that she can really say any of that kind of stuff.
Well,
can she?
To this day, I'm still the only person who has ever confronted her one-on-one and called her out on everything we're talking about today. This is about a year and a half ago.
Do you have footage of it?
I do. I've got it on my phone. We were on a radio show. We were on a radio show about a year and a half ago, face to face, and I called her out on all her lies, all her fraudulent lies.
I'd
everything.
love to get footage of that.
That is why she started coming after me. Was after that, and she threatened me. She goes, "Don't you ever talk to me like that again. You're going to pay for this." And she literally said she was going to come after me. And she's a dangerous, dangerous person. But I called her out because, listen, I probably got the biggest balls in Pinellas County. No one else has called her out on any of this stuff.
Well,
Nobody.
we have. I'm with you, buddy. I'm Team Tito, please.
Yeah, thank you.
We need to get footage of that.
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
can
But
play
I'm
it.
not. You got to remember, like, I'm not doing this for myself. I really love the country.
There's
I
nothing.
love-
There's nothing for you to gain here.
No, I love.
You're not
the
running
country.
against her.
We need good people in Congress. We need good representatives, people who are honest.
And this is a very important seat.
Very,
This
very
is very-
important seat. We need to win back the House. We need to take control of this country. And she just sends us in the opposite direction. She was going to embarrass Pinellas County like nobody's ever embarrassed.
They're going to
that
be
county.
like, what a bunch of sodbuster, stupid people down there if this bitch gets in.
I mean, if she
For
gets
real.
in, and then she's going to, like we said earlier, she's going to start going after people who didn't support her. You think that she's going to get elected and all of a sudden, like, be some great
And then be
community
nice.
servant?
You think she's going to get elected and be nice?
Yeah,
or
no way.
She's going to be Turbo the bitch she already is.
People tell you who they are. Listen to them. She's telling you she's a crazy bitch. Listen to her.
I'm going to have a few of her new commercials next. Live from the Sunbelt Rental Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Spot Show. Matt Tito, our guest today, and Matt kind of wears a couple different hats. One, he's from the area, former Marine captain, and an expert pretty much at military rankings and military service, and certainly has some great standing on analyzing this candidate. Ana Luna Polina and her military record, so to speak. From her, what is that called, Matt? The DL 2250. What is it called?
DD 214, which is the resume of your military service. It tells the whole story about your service in the military. You can tell if someone
And I
is
don't
a
know that
fraud or
anybody's broke. I don't know that anybody's really broke her down like this, like with regards to talking about her DD 214 or whatever the hell it is. I don't know that people really have.
No, nobody has, because I think people are afraid to do it if they're not a veteran. People who aren't veterans typically a little bit shy of criticizing anybody who is one.
But you are.
I am a veteran.
And you're not shy.
I'm a better veteran, and I have no problem going after her because she's a fraud.
And listen, if I get sued, I'm going to need you to be there for me, okay, buddy? I'm going to say yes. I had this guy in here, and I've been sued.
But we'll be sued together,
yeah.
I think, right?
And you know what? Just to let you know, I'm undefeated on lawsuits.
Well, you got to let me know who's representing you, because
well, I got to just, if you get sued, I need to get your number. First of all, we need to be buddies.
Yeah.
And if you get sued, I'll get my dream team on it, because I'll probably be, because everything you've said, I've endorsed, and I've given you this forum, and I'm going to continue to give you this forum to speak about fraudulent people. There's a lot of Ana Polina Linas out there that goes and embellishes their military record. And quite frankly, that's probably about the most disrespectful thing you can do to men and women that really have been in the military.
it's a total disgrace. I mean, she's a disgrace to the veteran community. I know people that lost their lives overseas. Those are the true heroes. People that pretend to be heroes but aren't, like Ana Polina Luna. It's a disgrace.
It makes men and women that really, really, really did fight for our country just their blood boil, because they know that what it really takes, and it's just, I don't know. I'm more mad at the system that has allowed this. You know what I'm saying? Like the media and the system have allowed this to happen.
Well, a lot of the media is pay for play. I mean, if you pay them off, they'll keep stories from running.
I mean, Blitz, you said that she has put a large amount of money on several different radio stations, and it's just a big Ana Luna Polina ass grabbing fest.
Yeah.
And you're right, Matt. She lays down, money on Channel 13 or this radio station and that, and then it buys her, from them bringing in people like you to dissect, what she's really saying.
But we've also got something going on around the country, which is you've got the Democrat opponents praying and wishing for all these crazy MAGA candidates to be the Republican nominees in the races, because, they don't want Kevin Hazlett or Amanda Mackey or whoever else is running in this race. They want Ana Polina Luna. They want them crazy MAGA candidate because they can tear her apart. Mm-hmm. And so in some of these races, like in Michigan...
So they're being quiet until the general, right?
They're being totally quiet, but they
Would
are
you
waiting.
Even suggest that some of them are funding her campaign, like George Soros?
So in some cases, you're 100% right. The Democrats are actually funding the MAGA candidates' races,
knowing that they can beat her in the general.
I'll tell you right now, the Democrat who's running in the race in District 13 is Eric Lynn. He will have at least $4 million to go after Luna, and I'll tell you what. He's not going to be as friendly as her Republican opponents.
No,
he will destroy her. He will dismantle her, and she will go crying back to her husband, Andy, who hopefully divorces her. Poor guy.
Hey, Andy, we're gonna, me and Matt are saying we'll try to set you up on a real hot date with some real neat chicks if you get rid of this.
Hashtag save Andy. I mean, poor guy.
That's what it needs to be.
Poor
Hashtag
guy.
save Andy.
He actually is a good guy. I like him. He's a good guy.
Hold on here.
Anna Paulina Luna, pro-God, pro-gun, pro-life, Trump endorsed. Anna
Does she have any kids?
Not that we know of.
Paulina Luna, Air Force veteran who will stand up to the open border radicals in both parties. That's why the Rhino establishment is trying to stop her. Anna Paulina Luna. But President Trump trusts Anna to defend our border and finish the wall. That's why President Trump called Anna a warrior and a winner.
I'm Anna Paulina Luna, and I approve this.
Hold on.
You didn't give her name right.
Hold on. I was just getting ready to say, Anna.
Here we go. Pause it right there.
Great observation.
And I know because I have the same name, so I'm very in tune to that.
Great observation.
And the fact
that the narrator guy doesn't even call her by her. It's that Anna kind of deal.
Yeah, and she didn't correct him.
No.
Anna Paulina Luna. But President Trump trusts Anna to defend our border and finish the wall. That's why President Trump called Anna a warrior and a winner.
I'm Anna Paulina Luna, and I approve this message.
You see the tag on the gun?
Hold on, let me see which
Right
one.
there.
Where is it? I don't
Right
see
here?
it.
Her husband.
So see the tag on the sniper rifle her husband's carrying?
Right here.
Oh, there's two of them.
Oh, no.
One's right there, right? One's right there. And then where's the other tag? This tag right here, see up on the screen?
Yeah, so I don't know if they bought that from a gun shop and then they're going to return it after the commercial's done, or they stole it. I don't know.
No, they probably just went there and said, hey, listen, can we borrow this
a prop gun,
and
please.
we'll bring it back
This
to you.
is the problem with American politics. What does that scene, what does that image right there have to do with inflation, the border, with all the crazy things that are going on in our country right now? That has nothing to do with anything. Her carrying a weapon?
I'll better you. I don't even think that this picture was shot in District 13.
No, who knows where she was?
I mean, Blitz, I don't know of any area like that in 13. I mean, maybe somewhere in the ghetto version of Largo, Kansas City, but I don't know that was even shot in 13. I mean,
President Trump trusts Anna to
looks like the
defend our
Everglades.
border
what's that?
Looks like the Everglades area.
Yeah, I know
and
it
finish
does.
the wall.
Ew.
Looks
That's
like-
why President Trump called Anna a warrior
Now, is that her and Trump really together? Or is that Photoshop Willie?
I mean, she's capable of anything, but I'm sure, she's met him, certainly.
and a winner.
I'm
Trump
Anna
doesn't know who
Paulina
she is
Luna,
in that picture.
I'm Annalena Paluna.
and I approve this message.
What are you going to go shoot up all the Democrats in Congress? So if I'm a voter, if I'm a constituent, I look at that and say, what are you going to do for me? Why am I sending you to Washington, D.C. to represent me? So you can walk around with a sniper rifle?
Right.
What is she trying to What is she trying to?
What kind of rifles are those?
So she's got the that looks like a M60 machine gun, which is a squad automatic weapon, which typically takes 2 to 3 people to actually shoot that thing because it's very powerful.
That, and I don't know that she has the license to be able to shoot that gun, does she?
She's never shot that in her life in the military, that's for sure.
I mean, that gun's got some kick, doesn't it?
That's got a lot of kick. That's why I say it takes about 2, 3. So you got one person on the trigger, another person actually holding you down because of the kick.
That gun right there?
Yeah, it's extremely powerful. Shoots 7.72 rounds, and then he's got the sniper rifle right there, which I don't know what you need that for.
I mean, don't you think somebody should ask, hey, Anna, have you ever shot the gun that you were holding? And I mean, right? She can't.
I don't know why people wouldn't ask that question. I mean,
I'd even ask her what kind of gun in Spanish. Tell me in Spanish.
In
tell
Espanol.
Me, in Espanol. Tell me what kind of gun you had. Here's her. Now, Matt, you've not seen her. You've never seen this, right?
I've never seen this. No.
This is her hometown hotties. Listen, I'm not hating that she's not kind of a hot.
No,
bitch.
this is actually your favorite thing about her.
Yeah, like I mean,
it's a lot of filters though.
Listen, if we were voting for a hot bitch, she'd
win every time.
Yeah.
Hey, Maxim. My name is Anna Meyerhofer. I'm your 2000.
Hold on, what's your name?
Hey, Maxim. My name is Anna Meyerhofer. I'm your 2014 hometown hottie.
Her turning point bio says she had to do this because she had to make up for what the GI Bill didn't pay for.
Oh.
First of all, the post when I live in GI Bill, I got my MBA. It's $150,000 education. I got it for free. for free. The GI Bill pays for everything.
Right, but that's what they're saying.
Don't give me that garbage.
That she had to
they
do
offer.
all this because the GI Bill didn't cover it.
Yeah, but when you get dishonorably, when you don't leave on the right terms, I don't think they give you a GI Bill money, do they?
Correct. So
Matt?
she may not have gotten the GI Bill.
Well, but yeah, I mean, she still would have though.
Hey Maxim, my name is Anna Meyerhofer. I'm your 2014 hometown hottie contestant.
And you know what? You do that, Anna, and to give you some, not you, her.
Sorry.
To give you some credit. I mean, you know what? If this is what we're voting for, I'm full steam ahead on your deal. Nice cleavage.
That's Miss Clem all day.
You look good. I don't know if I want you representing me in Congress, but for a hometown hottie, circa 14, it works.
But listen, if we're voting for the hottest girls to send to Congress, let's go down to the dollhouse here in Tampa and let's pick the hottest girls and make them run for office.
Or
and
let's
that's just how we'll vote.
Let's go on Instagram and find all the hot Tampa-based Instagram chicks, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Several different ways.
UT.
We can do it.
For Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Hold on, where are you from?
For Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
My question is, how many days have you lived in District 13, and can you answer the question in Spanish? Why didn't somebody ask that during the debates?
I don't know. Nobody went after her.
For those of you that haven't been to Fort Walton Beach, Florida, it happens to be a very diverse community because of the fact that it is a military town. So we have people from not only all around the world, but all walks of life here. Aside from that, if you are looking for things to do, we pretty much go to the beach all the time. If you haven't been here, the beaches have white sand, turquoise water, and an extremely avid nightlife. As far as my free time is concerned, when I'm not in classes, which can be pretty hectic, I like to go to the beach, but if I'm not there, I find myself actually at the range a lot, which is something I find very fun and I take very seriously.
I'd love to see how good of a shot she really is.
Oh, God.
No, for real. Like she says she goes to the range all the time. Well, then, let's see how good you are.
Well, she better be sniper.
She's got herself a Nova Super Sport. Is this really her car?
Who knows?
I wonder if she can drive a clutch. I mean, Matt, I'm trying to hate all I want, but that is a good look. I mean, not for Congress, but for, oral on a Saturday night. That's good. That's works
why
for
she's
me.
getting the male vote.
By the way, I do not.
No, there's the clutch.
Hold on,
shift.
but I don't see it moving. I don't see the car moving. Hold on.
It's not moving, right?
Blitz. The car's not moving.
It's probably not even on.
Is that Red's car?
By the way, it's not rolling. She's dry shifting while it's in park.
She can get out of it though.
Listen, Anna, hometown hottie till the cows come home. Yes, thumbs up on that. Congressional candidate for 13, not so much. Why isn't the media picking this apart?
It's a great question. The only thing that I can surmise is that they're waiting for her to win the primary.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go after
Unleash.
her. Yeah. They got to be.
I wonder if she's good and bad. I wonder if she's bitchy and bad. I bet you she's real bitchy. I mean, I bet you could really be laying it to her and she'll find something wrong. I mean, you really laid it to her for 45 straight minutes of pounding.
Well, let's ask Matt Gaetz.
Thanks for being
Oh, snap.
The Bubba Radio Network will return after this.
Didn't he just get thrown out?
No, he's not. No.
Was he the guy with they're like he's fucking his son or something?
No,
weird?
Matt Gaetz is from Pensacola.
Yeah, he's
No, there was a deal with his.
It's underage
girls
prostitutes.
That he was flying to different places.
He's being investigated right now.
Okay.
He's from I
knew it was something with underage. I thought he was banging his son.
No.
He adopted a son, which is really weird.
Yeah, just by himself. Is he not married?
No, he's married.
He just got married, but I think it's a fake marriage, just as a cover.
Just a beard.
It's a beard because he was under all this scrutiny in this investigation, so he got married to kind of cover
But he
up some of the
adopted this
weirdness.
song
He adopted some son a while ago.
just as like a single.
He's a
dude.
weird guy.
Yeah.
But his big thing is him transporting underage girls, I guess.
Yeah,
to
like a
DC or
17-year-old.
Wherever he goes and talks, that's
Sorry,
So
you got
Turning Point
gay.
USA, you know, Turning Point, all the young girls.
Yeah.
When he goes to those events, he invites all the girls up to his room, and they snort cocaine, and they have sex and orgies and all kinds of stuff. I mean,
Fuck,
he's
good for Matt Gates.
Yeah.
But the fact is, go fucking be Bubba Gates in my own.
But he keeps his stuff quiet.
You should have been to the student action committee that they had.
I was there.
I mean,
it's the hottest girls you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like they're all young 20s. Incredible. I don't know where they get these girls from. It's this MAGA grifter movement which attracts pretty good-looking females for whatever reason. They're all trying to be Instagram famous,
right?
And they post about politics and bikinis. Like, what does that bikini picture have to do with inflation?
Right.
Right. You know, and she's a product of this entire culture that's now out there.
Sure.
You know, it's freaking insane.
Yeah, the left is gross.
Hey, Edward Mayhofer put on his Facebook, just finished a live interview on the Bubba the Love Sponge show. I believe it went well, rather well. Look online and listen.
Nice.
Yeah, good guy. Poor guy's been attacked.
God.
I'm still thinking about suing her for defamation. So I've got a lawyer lined up, ready to roll, because she accused me of trying to kill her.
Have you posted that video of your interview with her?
I've not posted it at all.
Okay.
I've
Do
got it
you
on my
want
phone.
to post it?
We can.
Okay.
I've got a bunch of different clips.
I mean, if you got some good ones, we'll
Yeah.
Yeah, we
light
should.
it up.
Yeah.
So at commercial break, I had my phone in the corner,
Mhm.
kind of recording. This is what she said.
Calls, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about Donald Trump and then a little bit about the squad.
So she's over
That's
here.
perfect. And I would like to just do, when we go back on air, I'm going to make a statement and we'll finalize it. But don't you ever do that again today, got it?
I don't mind any word.
Thank you.
Let the
Don't do that yet.
If she gets a statement, I gotta
Let's just, we're not going to do that stuff.
She's telling the host how to run his
Yeah.
show.
Oh, I hope that bitch would be in here fucking with me.
If you came in here and told Bubba right now, oh, this is what you need to do. You need to do this, and like a bitchy like that.
I'd be like,
that
you
would
need
not
to sit
end well
the
for
fuck
you.
down, bitch.
Yeah.
I would just be like,
this.
Listen,
That was the show.
why did you lose?
Why did I lose? I lost because there were 25,000 more dead.
On TAN.
Look how professional. Look how fucking.
Exactly. So that's the district, right? So as a whole, for the district, what I'm saying is that if you have that for the rating and they cut that off, it doesn't mean that this area was tossed up. It was actually D+2 according to the voter registration. So you'd have to actually get those votes out of the district in order to win. And then plus, with vote by mail being no longer a factor, this is absolutely a winnable district.
Do you think that vote by mail is no longer a factor?
It's going to be for ballot harvesting, correct? Yes. You can still do it as long as you're registered, but this whole massive vote by mail not a thing anymore nationally.
No, you see it too.
No.
I think you lost because you lost 25% of the Republican vote to Charlie Crest.
No.
So that's why you lost.
It was by harvesting. I can say that if you're going to say stuff like that, no, hold on, Tito. If you're going to talk about it, but you have to lose your ratings, Tito.
Then she just tries to allow you. I wouldn't let her.
Sorry. Hold on.
And this old timer didn't know what to do.
What the hell?
Yeah.
You're not going to sit on this radio and be rude. You're not going to do that. And I'm not going to sit here and give you my platform either.
My platform.
Democrats get a state house race and spend $3 million.
So you think the Republicans voted for Charlie Crist?
Charlie
You're
Crest
not going to say,
is
wait, you're telling the people of, wait, the people of, hold on, the people of Florida voted for Charlie Crist.
You're listening
You're saying that the people
He tried to host a fucking show.
You're listening to.
I've got tons of clips, though. That was one.
Oh, we need them.
Yeah, I mean,
That's funny.
I've got all these. The real Adam Luna, please stand up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Has Kevin?
Now, when was
seen
that debate?
This was May 26, 2021. About a year
Just a
ago.
little over a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, she was just. This is the commercial break.
It's nice meeting you too, Wilbur's after Boo. It was a good time.
She called me crazy. Where's laughing?
I mean, that makes for a great ad.
You want to lick that?
Lick it?
This guy's trying to be non-conversational. I'd be in there stirring you motherfuckers up.
Oh, me and her here would be so much fun.
Oh, yeah. I wish you got to.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
No.
I think.
I don't want to get shot.
All right, here we go.
How much longer after that interview did she
What's
that? How much longer after that interview did she start saying?
3 weeks after that interview, she said I was trying to kill her. She set me up. She set me up. She knew exactly what she was doing.
It's the Bubba the Love Spot Show. I'll have to short space everybody here. Love me about 1 or 2 minutes, and then back into break, and then the wrap up. Man, I'd love to have you on from time to time. It seems like you're very well versed in politics. I would suggest that you find some other office to run for, because I think you come across well.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'd love to come back on whenever you want me.
Have you been looking at any other?
I am. Let's see how tomorrow goes. Let's see how November goes. But I'll be back, and I will run for something in the future.
Like
Absolutely.
county commissioner, or maybe Florida Congress.
Whatever it is, I'll find a race to jump into where I can serve.
Because you come across great.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. And I got into politics for all the right reasons. I want to serve. I want to give back, servant leadership. Not like some of these frauds out there that get into, they try and run for office to better themselves, to gain something financially, and to try and be famous. They're all a bunch of frauds. We need to get rid of them.
Well, that's you just describe Ana Luna Polina to the absolute T. Trying to be famous and doesn't really have a real job or a way to support herself. I'm sure her husband gets, a pension or a disability, as he should, because he was a wounded combat veteran. But I don't know that she has a skill set other than suing and lying, right?
Suing, that's all she does. She's very litigious.
$400 cash, PayPal.
Oh, thank you.
Beep beep.
Now, do they live in Hillsborough, right?
No, she lives in St. Petersburg.
Oh, she does.
She does live in St. Pete.
So did she now not in 13? Is she in that sliver that districted it out?
I'm not sure. She may be in another district. I'm not exactly sure where she lives, but she's somewhere in St. Pete. She's probably not in the district.
Do you think that she's a nervous wreck right now?
I think she is. And she uses witchcraft to overcome that. Apparently, she's into witchcraft.
That makes her a crazy bitch. Can you imagine how good in bed she probably is?
Oh my God. Going back to asking her to speak Spanish and things like that. She always claims I'm pro God. I love to ask her what her favorite Bible verse is. Right?
Yeah,
I guarantee you she doesn't know one.
In Spanish,
your favorite Bible verse. Go right now. I don't know Spanish, and I've never read the Bible.
Listen, I got to tell you, there's an Amanda woman, there's Kevin Hazlett, there's a couple of really good candidates, and I promise you that the day before the election, that none of Amanda's family and none of Kevin's family, close family, the Godfather, like Edward,
cousins, uncles.
Yeah, I guarantee you, nobody's doing the media tours around talking about how bad of a person and how much of a fraud Amanda or Kevin is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're good people.
Because they're good people.
They're good people.
And I still can't for the life of me understand how this fraud got this far. It's
kind of impressive, especially with all this, all these skeletons in her closet.
If there was
the
one
gall to
little
come out and run for office, knowing that this would surface.
It just shows you how pathetic we are as a country. We've become so soft and so snowflaked, and the pussification of America allows crazy bitches like her to be viable candidates because we won't do our research and we're enamored with stupid ass endorsements. We have a thing called Google. That's all you got to do nowadays. You don't even have to go down to the library and look somebody up, right? You can do it right from your phone.
It's so easy.
So lazy.
It's not 1935, right? We've got the internet. We've got data on everyone. Everyone's got a digital footprint. But she's lied about now her military service record. She's lied about her uncle trying to kill her. She's lied about political candidates trying to kill her. Roger Stone was trying to kill her.
You're trying to kill her.
I'm trying to kill her. Everyone's trying to kill her. She will stop at nothing. She will continue her lies, and she will be a disgrace.
Do you think she gets her ass kicked and then she will run again in 2 years?
No, she's done after this. She'll start an OnlyFans account, and she'll start doing that.
Hey, you know what? And you know what? I got to be honest with you, Matt. She she could kill it on OnlyFans.
That's her best path to becoming a multimillionaire.
Yes.
Right? She just needs to drop out
and go
do
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
She has a safety net ready to go.
She does. It's right there for her, and I think that'd be good for her. But she doesn't belong in politics.
No. She's not qualified to be the dog catcher.
No. I mean, she's an embarrassment. She's going to come after her political opponents and everybody who did not support her during this election cycle if she gets in. And then she's going to have the backing of the Congress.
Do you think, because I've been probably in the media the most vocal, me and the Jacob Ingalls guy and Roger Stone and you. And I mean, do you think that if let's say by whatever miracle she wins, hey, listen, I don't know if you know my history, but I've been blackballed and blacklisted for a long time, from the sex tape to cheating scandals to just all types of deal.
Yep.
You think that she will come after me? I bet you she does.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I put in a $5,000 security system in my house. Okay. I'm a pretty tough guy. I've been shot at. She scares me.
She will kill me.
She scares me.
Hold on, I'm just a fat ass from Indiana. You're a Marine and you're scared?
I'm scared.
Shows you how stupid I am.
I would upgrade the security system in your house, put cameras everywhere. Don't go out in public very often, and watch your back. Watch your back. She will definitely come after you. Absolutely. I'm telling you.
She blocked on Facebook, Bubs.
She is dangerous. She's not a very nice person.
I'm late. I got one more break, then we'll say goodbye to everybody.
The Bubba Radio Network will return after this.
Wow. You think she will fuck with me, Matt?
Kevin Hazlett just called.
She will.